Next up to the plate, we got the jitters out. I'm joined today by...
My name is Andrey. I moved to Cyprus like 4 years ago. My background is mostly on the corporate development investment. I was like corporate development guy in a couple of companies. My place was Nexters, GDev. And now I do independent investment advisory here for games.
Okay, so what are you seeing in Cyprus right now when it comes to investments? I'm seeing a lot of capital flowing into real estate. Is it coming into games too?
Games is not only about Cyprus. Games is kind of global stuff. So as everywhere, it's not very like easy time to raise the money, and also not easy time to sell something. So that's why the criteria I think the investors have for the product to invest or to acquire, they're pretty strict. So that's why I think it's not only about Cyprus, it's a global business.
So you've been here 4 years.
Yeah.
What changes have you noticed in the game development scene?
I joined gaming actually in the middle of 2021. So the vibes of the flourishing time of post-pandemic was already there. And the valuations was kind of high. Everybody is still continuing invest into games. And games was like, the multiples was pretty good. I think somewhere in the beginning of 2022, mostly about ADFA. And also the war also changed things for the companies which are here because like they faced a lot of operational problems. So that's why I think many companies spent like 1 year at least to put things back on track and to overcome all of these operational issues, like moving people, putting like processes back on track, putting creativity back on track, like cope with the stress of all of this. So I think it's some like kind of individual situation which affect the developers, most of the developers here. It's not like in the global scene. I think the times became tougher, and you can see it like on the metrics everywhere, that there is not such growth as it was before, like that huge investment interest in the field.
What about here? You think it's slowed down here? When I look around Cyprus, at least what I see today, or what I've seen previously, is it seems like exploding, at least here. Maybe not globally for
No,
games,
I mean like people doing business, people doing work. So I definitely believe some people changed their focus. Maybe like they quit games, and I think I heard like a lot of conversations about that. But many decided to stay. For example, if we talk about myself, I was like doing M&A, and I wanted to continue doing M&A. But to be honest, like there is not so like huge deal flow everywhere. But I decided to stay in gaming no matter what, because I like the community. I play the games from my childhood, so I want to be there at least for some time and see what I can do on myself. So finally I decided to find some projects on my own. And I think many other people did the same. Some of them succeed, some of them are like searching for something. Maybe they don't have like great times right now, but they are like continue to push it through.
Have you done any advisory for firms around the area?
Yes, I have a couple of companies with whom I'm working, mostly on kind of investment side, and I was happy that projects with whom I'm working, they are pretty good on metrics. So that's why I think if the company have a good metrics, probably the changes are not that frustrating. But if you want to do something from scratch right now or like establish a new product, it's much more trickier.
So when you think about the firms that you've worked with here and firms you work with abroad outside of Cyprus, do you think there are any differences in how you describe them or their approaches or their team?
I mostly work with companies in Cyprus, and before that I was like in Russia, so I worked in the tech sector, like not in games itself. I was working for the internet company.
So have you seen that the mindset has changed when people have come over here?
I don't think so. I mean, because before that I worked for tech, but this was local tech. So it was like located in Russia, and it was between the tech companies in Russia. Definitely like the Russian-speaking people, they're pretty great at tech and pretty great at games. They have like Russia, Ukraine, or Belarus. But I think if we talk about gaming, all of the successful gaming companies, they're truly global actually, in a nutshell. You cannot like make a game, especially a mobile one, and focus only on one region.
What about Dream? I don't know, Dream's doing pretty
USA.
good. Dream's looking pretty good. Oh, you mean in terms of demand?
Yeah, I mean in terms of your users.
Okay.
So your users
Yeah,
are definitely global. You cannot make good money in gaming unless you are working globally.
Yep.
So that's the point here. So basically, if you do a mobile game, for example, especially a mobile game, you always focus globally, especially on the US market, if you want to make some good money. It doesn't like depends where you're originally from. You compete on a global level and you're working with users from all over the globe. So basically, I think mindset pretty much the same. Maybe the marketing is not as easy as it was before, but people finding a way.
What ways do you think they're finding here? What are the strategies that are emerging, or at least the hope? Like we just heard from someone who was working in puzzle Is there any other interesting genres that you see happening here? Like I see that there's this puzzle segment. There seems to be a little bit of PC console from wargaming. Is there anything else going on here in terms of like genre that you're seeing emerge?
One of the biggest, initially hyper casual, but now it's like everybody's moving to hybrid casual companies. They're here, like Say Games or Azure. There is also
Say Games is here.
Yes.
Oof, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
okay.
that's it. Also, in terms of PC, there is not only wargaming. For example, AllCat, they have a big team and they're also working from here.
We might hear from them later.
Yeah, maybe.
If the CEO is still around and the wine bottle hasn't been emptied.
Maybe. For example, in terms of mobile, I know that there is a Forex studio making Forex game. And
Score Warriors.
Score Warriors. And it's like everybody keep telling that it's like maybe the biggest Forex product which not out from China. Yeah. So that's the point. So these guys are also here and they're pretty successful. Nexter's here. Yeah, they do like one of the biggest RPG game. And there are definitely some part of the teams of players actually, maybe from Gaijin, or part of the team also here, and from some other bigger companies. So they're pretty good mix. I think it's mostly skewed to mobile. PC is less presented here, but both platforms are presented here. And also there is the guys who are making like the competitor to the Strikers guys. They're actually, it's pretty interesting guys. They're out of Wiser. They are previously making like a also big puzzle game, Klondike, and they also launched a product like Strikers. They get some investments and they're making like a football simulator.
Yeah. I mean, we've seen, Goals in Sweden has emerged. We also have the Rematch, which came out recently.
Yeah, I saw Twitch.
Yeah, it seems like people are going after EA. It was Sorare on the Web3 side. People are trying to eat at that empire.
There's also one thing that the deal between the EA and FIFA is not here anymore. Maybe you also can get some organics here and compete also in terms of like distribution.
Is there anything else you'd like to say?
I like your podcast, so it's really fun to be here and very unexpected, but it's pretty cool.
Thanks for being on the cast.
Yeah, thank you very much.